Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with Phone Arena, and today we are comparing two flagship devices, one from Nokia and one from Samsung. So this is the Samsung Galaxy S3 that we have here. It's the white version, and here we have the newly launched Nokia Lumia 920. So it's been a while since the Galaxy S3 has launched, but since the Lumia 920 has just launched in India, we thought that comparing these two flagships which are fighting it out in the marketplace right now would be great for the users, of course. So let's get to the comparison then. So let's take a look at the design, build and ergonomics between the two devices. So this is the Nokia Lumia 920, and as you can see, this looks absolutely beautiful with a single piece polycarbonate plastic and a ceramic zirconium metal for the camera and the back. So this is the LED flash here. So everything is a single piece unibody polycarbonate, and it has a curved 2.5D screen, and the display beautifully molds with the phone, so you never feel the difference between the screen and the phone. So everything feels like a single piece here. And when it comes to thickness, it is about 10.9 millimeter thick. So it's pretty thick, and it weighs in at 160, about approximately 160 to 170 grams. So it's a bit heavy too. On the other hand, the Galaxy S3 is purely made of typical Samsung plastic. As you can see, it's glossy plastic here. Even this is glossy plastic. But this feels rather cheap, and you know, it comes with some advantages. The back is removable, it is not unibody, but still feels very adequate. The thickness is, you know, it's very thin, so it's about 9 millimeters thick, and rivals most other phones in thickness and weight. It is very light, about 110 grams in weight, so it's very light and very thin. It slides into the pocket easily, unlike the Lumia 920. But you know, for a premium device, this feels really cheap. Even the chrome around the camera feels like a bit let down. So that's it for the design. And coming to the ergonomics, as I said earlier, the Lumia 920 is pretty heavy. So it does not slide into the pocket easily, as it is a bit thick too. So when it comes to ergonomics, the Galaxy S3 wins easily, and probably, you know, the best phone to keep in your pocket right now. It's very sleek and very thin and very light. When it comes to the hardware buttons, the buttons on the Lumia 920 are made of the same material as the back plate, which is zirconium, so they are very good, and it has a camera button too, so that's an advantage. But on the other hand, the Galaxy S3, the home button feels nice, but it is made of plastic, and on the sides, though, you have only one button with the volume rocker on the sides, and it is not so good, but good enough, I'll say. So that's it for the design and the build and the ergonomics of these two devices. We are inclined with the Galaxy S3 in this department, but the design definitely goes to the Lumia 920 because it looks absolutely gorgeous. So now we can take a look at the displays of these two devices. The Lumia 920 has a 4.5-inch 1280 by 768 display and packs a lot of technology onto it. So it has a Pure Motion HD Plus screen, and it is super sensitive, so that you can use it with gloves and even knives, from what I've seen. So it's a 4.5-inch in diagonal. It's not AMOLED, it's a Super LCD 2 TFT screen, and it is of the RGB type, meaning the sub-pixels are arranged with only 3 pixels, red, green and blue. While on the other hand, the Galaxy S3 has a 4.8-inch Super AMOLED screen, but it is of the pentile type, so the sub-pixel arrangement is RGBG, which means that text and outlines will be a bit fuzzy. And it has a 720p resolution in 16:9 form factor, so it's a 1280 by 720, whereas the Lumia 920 is 1280 by 768. So this is a 16:10 screen, and this is a 16:9 screen. So the display in outdoor visibility, we can't say much because the AMOLED wins in the blacks, deep blacks, But the Lumia 920 still holds its own with its clear back technology, which means that the lamination type, the air gap between the screen and the display is very less, and so it feels that the black is very deep even though it is just an LCD screen. And of course, the Pure Motion HD Plus means that the Lumia 920 screen has super sensitive, super fast display, super smooth, because it has about 60 Hz refresh rate and everything feels smooth in this display. You might not be able to see this on camera, but you have to be it will be very easy to note it in person. So when it comes to the screen, I think the Lumia 920 wins here. This is a good enough screen, but not great enough, and the Lumia 920 has an extra advantage of the oleophobic coating version 2 on it, so literally there are no fingerprints, unlike the Galaxy S3, which is a fingerprint magnet. So that's it for the display. So let's take a look at the internal hardware of the two devices. So the Lumia 920 comes with a 1.5 GHz dual-core SNAPDRAGON S4 Plus processor. So it is based on the Crate architecture, which is ARM A15, and it has 1 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage. And on the other hand, the Galaxy S3 has a 1.4 GHz quad-core EXYNOS processor and 1 GB of RAM for the international version, and also the same amount of RAM and internal storage, which is 1 GB and 32 GB of internal storage. 1 GB of RAM, that is. So what is the performance difference between the two? It's very highly subjective, and the OS needs to be optimized in order to compare the performance between the two. But in terms of raw performance, the quad-core EXYNOS slightly beats the dual-core Snapdragon processor, but the Crate architecture holds its own in some benchmarks. But the jury is still out on that one, whether which processor is the better performing one. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S3 US version, that is the T-Mobile one or the AT&T one, have the same processor as the Lumia 920. So I guess the performance the raw performance between those two might be the same. But this might edge out in some games or whatever. So this has an Adreno 225 GPU and this has a Mali 400 GPU. So that's the differences between the Galaxy S3 and Lumia 920 in terms of hardware internals. So the Lumia 920 has a 8.7 megapixel backside illuminated sensor on it. So it's a hybrid sensor, so that the pixels it can accommodate in 4:3 as well as 16:9 will almost be equal. So it produces a 7.9 megapixel image in 16:9 and around 8.2 megapixel in 4:3 aspect ratio. So that's why there is a 8.7 megapixel hybrid sensor here. And not only that, the camera packs optical image stabilization, which is the ultimate selling point of this PureView camera. So it has the PureView brand from Nokia, and it has the optical image stabilization, meaning that there is a lens actually floating on springs on the Lumia 920. So on the other hand, the Galaxy S3 has a 8 MP backside illuminated camera, which is very good in daylight but loses out to the Lumia 920 in low light situations, as this has optical image stabilization and of course a bigger aperture. This is f2.0 and this is f2.8. So that's where the Lumia is better, especially in low light situations and of course night situations. So the Lumia 920 takes full HD 1080p video, and even the Galaxy S3 takes full HD 1080p video. But when it comes to video, the OS again comes into factor, and you can take super stabilized video using the 920, and the audio recorded on the 920 is using a mono HAAC mic, which Nokia says it's called rich recording. It can record very low frequency notes too, and it will sound absolutely brilliant when you record concerts on this phone. While the Galaxy S3 is good, it has stereo recording, but it loses out on the video stabilization and the audio recording. The audio recording is not too good, as you can see in the comparison videos that we did earlier. So overall, in the camera department, I would say that Lumia 920 matches the Galaxy S3 nearly in daylight performance, and the low light performance of the Lumia 920 is probably the world's best right now. It has not been bested yet. So I think this round will go to the Lumia 920 in terms of the camera. Now coming to the big thing, that is the software. So the Lumia 920 runs on the Windows Phone 8 operating system, which is the latest version of the Windows Phone software. Previously, last year, the Lumias used to run Windows Phone 7.5 Mango, but that has been revamped. There has been a total revamp. So this Windows Phone 8 is based on the desktop Windows kernel. So it is a lot more capable than what it was, and hence there are a lot of enhancements to it. So let's talk about it later. Let's look at the Galaxy S3. The Galaxy S3 runs on Android 4.1.1 Jelly Bean. It initially ran 4.0 ICS, but it is now Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, which is good. It comes with Google now, and of course the world's most loved OS right now is Android. And but there is a different thing with all the Samsung Galaxy phones, which is the TouchWiz. The Galaxy S3 was the first phone to bring the nature UX, which means that it had a lot of nature-inspired elements to it. They were pitching a lot of nature-inspired elements, like, you know, the Galaxy S3 looks like a pebble. It makes ridiculous sounds, which we are not a fan of. So that is the differentiating factor with the Galaxy S3. So when we come to Windows Phone 8 again, let's take a look at what's new in Windows Phone 8. So right at the start screen, you can notice the change that there are new resizable tiles for the start screen. There was also a bit of blank space here with the Windows Phone 7.5, but now that is gone and there are resizable tiles for the start screen. That is one major UI change when it comes to Windows Phone 8. But otherwise, it has remained almost the same, with slight tweaks to all the inbuilt apps and whatnot. The Internet Explorer now is Internet Explorer 10, which is based on the desktop IE, which means that it will render web pages very nicely like the desktop version. But other than that, there are a lot of under the hood changes, like the Windows Phone 8 now supports Bluetooth file transfer. It has NFC, and this phone has wireless charging inbuilt into it, so it can utilize all the accessories that come with wireless charging, NFC and Bluetooth. So every damn thing is now supported on Windows Phone 8. It even supports file transfer now. Previously it used to support only audio accessories through Bluetooth. So that's a welcome change for everyone looking to jump to Windows Phone. But the terribly lacking app ecosystem is the only thing that stops everyone from choosing Windows Phone over Android or iOS. So that's a thing that will slowly fix itself, we hope. So that's the problem is with Windows Phone. There are also a lot of features missing. Like there is no notification center, there is no reliable lifestyle notifications, and of course a lot more features that's not in Android, like for example Wi-Fi Direct, DLNA sharing instant. So a lot of these OEM customization that was added to Android is missing on the Windows Phone 8 OS. But Nokia have done a lot of customization too. So they have all these cool Nokia exclusive apps like Cinematograph, City Lens, and of course the mapping solution, that is Nokia Maps, Nokia Drive, and of course Nokia City Lens, which is the augmented reality mapping solution. And of course they have a few more services like Nokia Music. So, but otherwise Windows Phone 8 is pretty vanilla on the Nokia Lumia 920. which is a good thing. You know, Android has a lot of customization going on when it comes to OEMs, but in Windows Phone 8 it's pretty limited, and we appreciate that. And coming to Android, as we said earlier, Samsung has done a lot of customization to Android. Its TouchWiz UI is completely different from stock Android, and a lot of apps are made by Samsung. So as you can see, all the S-Memo, S-Planner, S-Suggest, every S-Voice, so everything is by Samsung. So Samsung made these apps. Even the music player is by Samsung. So all these apps kind of augment the experience, and of course differentiate it from other Android devices. But when it comes to Jelly Bean, it is super smooth. The quad-core performance is absolutely brilliant on this phone, and Google has incorporated Google Now into its Jelly Bean operating system. So Google Now is terrific. It is kind of real-time voice search, as well as it can predict what you're about to do it's like, you know, artificial intelligence inside your phone. So that's pretty good. And Jelly Bean also brings a lot of new innovation in the notification center. So notifications are expandable, and you can interact with the notifications right away in the notification center. So that's a welcome change. Otherwise, there's not much going in Android Jelly Bean, but ICS was a huge jump from Android Gingerbread, and it was damn awesome. So that still remains, and pretty good work by the third-party developers. Like, most apps are on Android now, which are on iOS. So the second ecosystem is pretty solid, and that's what's going for the Galaxy S3. So that's the comparison between the Nokia Lumia 920 and the Galaxy S3. So what will you choose? That's still highly subjective. So what we would recommend is, if you're a casual user who is looking to do a lot of casual stuff and take photos primarily, the Lumia 920 will be awesome for that. But if you're a power user, and if you want to try Android and do a lot of customization and use a lot of apps and games which are available for iOS, and a lot of apps, you know, lot of apps. When I say a lot of apps, there are a lot of apps for Android. So then Android is your choice, and of course the camera is pretty decent on this phone, actually very great. And the experience on the whole, it's pretty impressive. It's a very fast phone, it's a great phone, it is sleek and thin. So that's how the Lumia 920 is probably the most innovative smartphone from Nokia, and while the Galaxy S3 is of course the leading flagship from Samsung, which has sold in tons. So this is the comparison between the Lumia 920 and the Galaxy S3, and this is Bharadwaj signing off. So let us know in the comment section below if you have any questions, and do hit like and subscribe to our channel for more comparison videos and more videos like these. Thanks for watching.